Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. We're back once again on Facebook Live. Glad you are with us. We are also recording today, of course, as we do every week. The show will post on YouTube and is always available on boinkstudios.com. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. What's up out there, folks? Thanks for tagging along. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. And guess what? Drum roll, please. I'm not going to do that. I have a microphone. It's interference. Can we just do this at home or something? I don't know. This is episode number 100. That's a look of, See what I'm saying? That's the confident white guy head nod. Like that. Like, yep. It's not really. It's my confident white guy head nod. Did you catch that? Episode 100. Yes. Someone do that for me. Do I have to do this? And as always, if you're listening to the podcast later, you have no idea what I'm doing. This could be terrible. This could be obscene. Who knows? You see what I'm saying? I'm hoping this will end up being a still. Because when I put the video, put the show on YouTube, you have to pick a thumbnail. I'm hoping this is one. Watch. Because if it is, that's the one I'm picking. Because that right there says it all. This is episode 100. I'm so freaking glad. It's a benchmark for me, man. This show is 4 years in the making. I started this sucker in 2014. Spent some money on the equipment, all right? But I took money that I make from writing about this stuff and just sort of reinvested in the business. And by the way, you get to write this stuff off on your taxes at the end of the year, so it's a double whammy. It's a double bonus for you. So that's awesome. Episode 100. People are already asking questions. Yeah. What's up? What's up, guys? Thanks for coming along, man. We've not yet started diving into questions. We're not going to waste a lot more time. But it's episode 100. It's a big deal for me. So thanks for hanging out. I did a bonus episode after 99, which was last Friday. Please go listen to it if you haven't listened to it yet. A fellow writer online, Sarah Hirsch. We did, for the first time ever on the Main Event, a bonus episode. So I guess you could call it like 99.5, which is probably an FM station somewhere. I don't know. Hopefully they're playing oldies. I don't know. But I promised you guys this week was going to be, I was about ready to say issue 100, comic book guy over here. I promised you guys last week that this was going to be episode 100. Well, here it is. It's episode 100. Yay. Okay, we're all happy. I'm happy. Are you happy? It's Friday, man. We made it through another week. Okay, anytime you can wake up on this side of the ground is a good day in my opinion, right? So let's do this. I think that's something old people say. I do have gray. I don't know what, but I'm young at heart. That's all that matters. It doesn't really, but that's what I'm going with. Did anyone bring cake? Does anyone have cake? It's episode 100. Is anyone, no cake? Really? Okay, well, I didn't bring any either, right? I'm cutting down. Your boy is 17 pounds down now. Everyone clap, please. Thank you, everyone. A little bit of love. Thank you for your host. 17 pounds, baby. And counting. It's a long road. But it's not the destination so much as it is the journey. Or maybe in my case, it's the opposite. I don't know. Let's stop with the... We may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander. Now you have your Star Wars reference. Are you happy? Let's get down to this. What is the main event this time around? I got 3 things we're going to talk about. This time the main event is Becky Lynch, Braun Strowman, and All In. It's an action-packed episode, man. Action-packed. And every one of you guys wants to talk about Becky Lynch, Braun Strowman, and All In. Don't lie to me. I know you do. Every one of you do. Okay? It's the truth. You and I both know it. You can't fool me. All right? Let's get down to it. Let's talk about 2 of the most ill-advised heel turns in the history of WWE. That's a big statement. I don't know if it is or not. It feels ill-advised. Yours truly published a piece this morning on Wrestling Rumors. And of course, as always, before we go any further, we have to thank Wrestling Rumors. You're on the Wrestling Rumors Facebook page. You should know where you are. All right, you got GPS, you know where you're at. It's impossible to not find your way these days, okay? So yes, much thanks to Heidi and all the good folks at Wrestling Rumors. We appreciate the platform as always. But this morning, I did post on Wrestling Rumors, wrote this sucker last night, and is the AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe feud going too far in WWE? We're not going to get too wrapped up in that right now, but we've got some other stuff we're going to talk about. And I've got a piece coming out tomorrow on Wrestling Rumors, all about Becky Lynch, the Becky Lynch issue with Charlotte. Is Charlotte being now presented as the Roman Reigns of the women's division? Boy, that's going to get some heat, huh? I don't really care. Someone just asked what All In is. You don't get any heat for that, man. It's fine. You can ask. We're going to talk about it. Someone tell Andrew what All In is. Okay, I'll do it. All In is the first show independent of any major pro wrestling company in this country to draw as many fans as it's drawn, over 10,000 people. It's going to be happening Saturday, September 1st. It's a show organized by Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, and various other folks they've got with them, Hangman Page, Marty Scurll. But it's mostly Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks' brainchild. So the story goes back to Dave Meltzer at one point saying that he didn't think that a show like that, and I'm not quoting, I'm paraphrasing, forgive me if I get it wrong, that an independent show could draw 10,000 plus people, and especially not these guys. And Cody took him to task on it and said, okay, we'll see. And so they did it. Congrats to them. The first hurdle's been cleared. Now let's see if the show's any good. And that's not being all like that about it, but let's see what happens. But listen, let's start at the top, if we may. Who wants to talk about some Becky Lynch, man? Does CM Punk know CM Punk's not going to be at All In? I'd be shocked if CM Punk is at All In. Not disappointed. I'd rather be wrong. Hopefully he's there. I don't know. But I'd love to see him there. But so far, everyone's saying he has no interest. Of course, what else do you tell wrestling fans when you're trying to get them to, trying to work them? You know what I mean? So anyway, let's start with Becky Lynch. Becky turns on Charlotte. Whew. Since then, this has been nothing short of a train wreck. And I've got a place I'm going with this, so hang loose for a tick, okay? How do we feel about Becky Lynch's heel turn right now? Because it's making all the news. Everyone's talking about it. What do we think about Becky Lynch turning on Charlotte Flair? The piece that I wrote for Wrestling Rumors, which is coming out, I may put it out later today, maybe after the podcast. Stay tuned. If I do, it's going to post right here on the page. Please go check it out. Yes? A lot of people are kind of down the middle on this thing. Some folks are saying, well, Becky was stale. She needed a turn. She needed something. She needed something different. A lot of other folks are saying this is, like I said before, it's a train wreck. It's not working. This is not a good idea. This thing is failing miserably, this, that, and the other. Here's my issue with this. Does it feel forced? Absolutely. Does it feel like Becky has no business turning heel? You better believe it. I heard someone compare her to Ricky Steamboat and said, what would have happened if Ricky Steamboat had turned heel in the middle of his feud with Ric Flair and turned Ric Flair face? Now, there's comparisons there because, of course, Rick and Charlotte, right? But another comparison there is that Steamboat was kind of booed during some of that because Rick was so over. So the tables were just a little bit turned, but Rick was presented as the babyface. Ricky was presented as the babyface, and he was, and always he is, and he always is. He always will be. Okay, so it's a little bit different, but I kind of see where that's coming from. And yes, I'm wearing the champ today. Walk that aisle, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun. What more can you say? But do I think that Becky needed something? Yeah, Becky needed something. Here's the problem with never turning her, with never adjusting her character, with never tweaking her at all, is that eventually Becky Lynch gets stale. And she goes from being the scrappy little fighter that everyone's rooting for to every week you're like, oh, man, she just can't win, can she? Aw, shucks. And Becky sort of blends in. Becky blended in. I'm sorry. And it's no disrespect to her. She was blending in. She needed to stand out. She needed something, yes? And to me, what else are you going to do besides turn her heel? Now, I'm not suggesting it was a great move. I'm not suggesting it was the best thing in the world to do for her career or anything. I think a lot of that remains to be seen right now. I have no idea. But I will tell you that, yeah, she needed something. She needed a change on some level in order to stop blending in. Now, Becky has all the momentum in the world. Stick with me on this. Becky has all the momentum in the world now. People are talking about her. For better or worse, for whatever the storyline purpose is, people talking about Becky Lynch is all they can talk about. I mean, that says a lot. Someone just said, let's look at Sasha Banks matches, Riot Squad. Yeah, so many in a row. People, well, to your point, so people are talking about Sasha Banks and saying that the whole Becky and Charlotte thing feels like Sasha and Bayley, where it, like, why would Bayley? What's going on? And then suddenly WWE pulled the plug. A lot of people, like yours truly, were waiting on WWE to pull the plug on this as well and say, wait a minute, this is obviously not working. Here's the problem when any one of us says, oh, this is obviously not working. The problem with that is it's obviously not working with Roman Reigns. Sorry for everyone out there. And no, I'm not throwing hate at the big dog. I'm not suggesting that. But all I'm saying is it's not working. Him as the top babyface, it's an exercise in futility. He's hated. He's absolutely hated. Am I saying it's his fault? I'm just pointing out a fact, man. He's hated. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. You can't fight that. It's like you can't fight City Hall. You can't, and someone said to me, well, Tom, Roman is booed, because it's fun to boo him because people, okay, I guess, whatever. They said the same thing about John. But dude, if John came back on Raw this Monday, he would get booed out of the building. What's John been around to do to upset anyone? Nothing. He hasn't hurt anyone. He's never made a fool of himself that I know of. John's an upstanding guy. John was the one getting busted for wellness policy violations. Hey. But John would get booed out of the building, man. So come on with that noise. It's fun to boo? Whatever, man. I'm going to put it to you this way. Me and my kid are going to see Monday Night Raw in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 29th. And my kid's going to be wearing his Roman Reigns t-shirt. We got our last batch of shirts from WWE Shop. I said, what do you want, boy? And he said, Roman Reigns, Daddy. So I got it for him because he's got a closet full of John Cena merch too. It's who he wants to wear. I don't care. I could steer him in other directions, but he's the one that likes what he likes. Okay, and you can take that and run with it. Do whatever you want to do. Say whatever you want to say. I don't care. But the fact is, I'm going to go and have fun. I'm going to cheer when honestly, I'm going to cheer, period. I'm going to have a blast. I'm not going to worry so much about, oh, he's babyface and they want me to like him, so I'm going to boo him because it's fun. I just don't get that. I don't get that at all. So, when you think about this, God, with the NWO, obsessed. I can't have one show where someone's not talking about that. Whew. Okay. All right. If I touch on this, can we move on? Because I try to throw you guys a bone. I'm not trying to ignore anyone. Let everyone be sure of that right now. I got topics, and I know that people want to talk about this stuff. I just try to go from one thing to the next. There is no point to an NWO thing. They're doing a reunion for an autograph signing. If all of that, all of the hype, all of your questions, all of your fandom over into it's for an autograph signing? Come on. Let me ask you a question. The same, not you folks. You and I are good. You're my audience. You guys are good with me, okay? Hey. But when it comes to fandom, when it comes to fans who sit back and say, oh, I'm sick of the part-timers, Tom. I'm sick of it. I want the full-time new era guys. That's what I want. That's what I want. These part-timers, Brock Lesnar and all these others. Stop it. Okay, but you want the NWO back on TV? They can't even work anymore. If anyone out there wants to see Hulk Hogan in a match, I have to seriously question if you're okay mentally. Sorry, that's mean. It is what it is. That's how I feel. He's got no business wrestling a match. I don't think anyone is suggesting that the NWO get back in the ring as a single or a six-man tag or whatever, because they definitely should not. Okay? So why do it at all? If an autograph signing, yay, convention circuit, sweet. But so they show up on Raw. I'm just throwing it out there. So they show up on Raw. So here we are with NWO, Too Sweet, woo, and all that. That was Flair. I don't know why I threw a woo in there. Too Sweet, For Life, all that stuff. Okay, and then what now? What then? What happens? What's next? What's next? Well, Tom, they could recruit other guys and start a new NWO. We covered this, I think, in last week's show or the week before. If you're a guy trying to make a name for himself in WWE, of course, if you grew up a fan of the business, which a lot of those boys and girls did in that company, but if you grew up a fan of the business, of course you know the NWO, and of course you respect what all those guys brought to the table. But don't you want to make your own way? I'm just asking. Don't you want to make your own way? Don't you want to be something else, something different, something better? Most of the guys will tell you, and I heard an interview recently with Bray Wyatt where he's talking about, guys comparing me to Undertaker and Mick Foley and stuff. He's like, but I can't worry about that. I have to be the best Bray Wyatt I can. Same deal. So, okay, guys, here's an NWO gimmick. You boys wear the shirt. You're the NWO now. Hey. And we're going to let Hogan come out and endorse you. And then they're going to leave and not come back for 6 months. Is that really an NWO reunion? Is that what you guys want? Don't we already sort of have Too Sweet and all of that already? And no disrespect to Gallows and Anderson, but is that really getting over? Bullet Club is huge in New Japan. It's huge in Ring of Honor. They out-pop like almost everybody on the card in both locker rooms. But when was the last time Gallows and Anderson had people doing this and Too Sweet and them? They're a good, solid tag team. Now, of course, it's not the whole gang all together with AJ and Finn. I get it. But come on. You know what I mean? Do we really want to rehash that? That's it for my NWO stuff. Is that okay? No disrespect. So I want to know what you guys think. Is the whole Becky Charlotte thing working? Is it working? I need to know. Because everyone's cheering Becky. And Charlotte is suddenly the Roman Reigns position. She is, because she's in the Roman Reigns position because she is now the babyface champion who probably shouldn't be babyface, that the company's doing all they can to make you believe that she's babyface and that Becky should be heel. It's the same deal as Roman Reigns on Raw. It's the same thing. I'm sorry, it is. I'm not saying it's doomed. I'm not saying they maybe can't turn it around. But I'm not saying that they can turn it around either. I think, in my opinion, that the whole thing has a tendency to backfire, and maybe it is backfiring as we speak. I don't know. So Becky deserves a bigger push. And, okay, to your point, isn't she getting that now? As I said before, Becky's got a world of momentum at her back. She's the one everyone's talking about now. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is not a prediction per se. So maybe don't lose your cool if she doesn't beat Charlotte at Hell in a Cell, because you know they're going to work for the championship, right? I think that at this point, Becky almost has to win the title from Charlotte, because that's how they're setting it up. Ask yourself this. Had Charlotte turned heel on Becky at SummerSlam, who would have all the momentum right now? I'm just asking. Charlotte would have all the momentum right now. Would Becky be in any better position to become the new SmackDown Women's Champion because Charlotte's now heel with all this momentum? I submit no, she wouldn't. I think Becky would be in the all shucks category. I was this close. Oh, well, we'll go get him next time. She was already doing that, right? Why go back and do that again? So part of me says, why not turn her heel and do something different, man? Just go, roll with it. Why not? Do you know what I'm saying? So, why not? Again, am I in love with it? No. WWE is smart turning Becky heel. I agree. I didn't. Part of me doesn't want to. But if you stand back for a second, take your emotions out of the equation, and try to forget what you perceive to be a good idea and a bad idea, because this is WWE, and sometimes the two become one and the same or never find their meaning in the first place. Let's be honest. Take a step back from the situation and look at long term and look at what we're talking about here. Becky has a better chance now to become a women's champion than she did before. Not because she could cheat to win, but because now, with all the momentum and spotlight on her, all right, do this for me. Let's say that Becky doesn't win it. let's say that Becky spends the last half of this year, all the way through December, maybe even going into January, and can't take the belt off Charlotte. Doesn't that kind of kill the heel turn? Doesn't that kind of tell everyone that she didn't have a point to turn heel at all? That she was just full of crap, and hey, Becky is a loser evidently, folks. She can't win the big one. Doesn't that sort of defeat the purpose of the heel turn? Is this to get Charlotte over, or is this to get Becky over? I think it's to get Becky over. I think Becky needed this. I don't think Charlotte needs to be put over. Of course, having said that, remember back in the day when it was the Triple H and Stephanie show on Raw, when it was the Authority, the original Authority. I mean, you know, it was their show every week, right? Did Triple H need to be over anymore? No. But, buddy, they did it every week. So that's this company, okay? Just when you think left is left and right is right, suddenly right is left and left is right. It's insane. I don't know what more to say about that. We can talk about that more later if you want to. Let's jump to the second biggest heel turn of the week. This one happening on the August 20th edition of Monday Night Raw. Braun Strowman. Ooh. This is tough as well. Because I don't know about any of you guys at home, but man, when I watched this, I was like, what? I'm still sort of, wait, what? Like, my kid, by the way, and you guys have met my kid, he's going to be 10 on Monday. And he's got this habit. He's a very funny little kid, but he's got this habit of, he will say the word wait before a sentence. And either I gave that to him or I'm picking it up from him, but one of us got it from somewhere. Where suddenly he'll go, wait, what? Or, wait, are we going somewhere? And he'll throw that in first. So that's me. I'm watching Braun Strowman and I'm waiting for him to clip Ziggler and McIntyre, and he doesn't do it. And I'm like, wait, what? Did he just turn heel? And I'm looking at Twitter, I'm looking at Facebook, and suddenly, is Braun heel? It was more of a question. It wasn't like, Braun just turned heel. Look out. Here it is, the heel turn for Braun Strowman. No. I think everyone that was on my timeline was going, wait a minute, what? Oh no, that was the second, right? The first reaction is, wait, what? And then the second one was, oh, because, well, here we go again. Once again, WWE takes a babyface who's not stale, who wasn't at the end of his rope, who didn't need maybe rejuvenation like Becky did, and said, turn him. Now, everything's got shades of gray. Nothing in the business is black and white. You guys should know that by now. Despite how many NWO shirts you want to wear. Nothing is black and white all the time. There's shades of gray to this. Why? Here's the part where I start to come back down to earth and look at big picture and stop saying, wait, what? If you don't turn Braun Strowman heel, what do you do with him? What do you do with him? Tom, you put him with Paul Heyman. Okay, then what? You put Paul right back in the mix against Roman again? Paul's impressive track record against Roman is kind of over now, right? Because his boy lost. So why would you want to throw Paul right back in the mix for the Universal Championship? I'm better with Paul with Owens than I am with Strowman. Could Strowman use a mouthpiece? Sure. But I don't think he needs it necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But again, I asked the question, had they not turned Braun Strowman heel, what was the next move? If they want Roman to have a lengthy Universal Championship run, I heard the Invasion story first. Yeah. So, I don't know who we're talking. Someone said, hey, buddy, what's your name? That's like a 1950s. Hey, buddy. Hey, pal. Hey, chief. Hey, partner. Weisenheimer, eh? That's the Three Stooges coming out in me. I lost my place. Okay, so they want Roman. So they want Roman Reigns to have a lengthy Universal Championship run. That's what everyone is saying. Roman Reigns has to have a lengthy Universal Championship run. We're going to give it to him for like 600 days because he's their guy. Shut up. And no matter what you think of him, he's always there. And believe it or not, I have to rehydrate. Or I have to hydrate. I can no longer go an hour. It's too much. It was different when I wasn't live because I could pause and edit. Pause, answer phone calls, pause, answer text, pause. Can't do that now. It's live, baby. Live without a net. So, if they want Roman to have a lengthy Universal Championship run, and you folks want Braun Strowman to be on top, because WWE didn't just book him at the top, fans want him at the top. He's over. So if you're going to do that, then you have to do something else besides Braun Strowman as the top babyface, because he's not. Roman is. He's booed. Roman's booed from one end of that arena to the other all over the world. But the fact is, he's booked as the top babyface, and you're not going to be able to get anyone else over as a top babyface on Monday Night Raw. Not as the top babyface. I mean, it's going to be Roman. So Braun's the odd guy out. So what do you got left to do except turn him heel? This is one of those moments, just like with the Becky and Charlotte thing, where I take a step back and look at it and say, okay, coming at it from a realistic expectation, coming at it from a realistic point of view, I have to honestly say, I don't know what else they could have done with him. People want Braun to be his own man. They want Braun to be his own. They want Braun to be Stone Cold because they want everyone to be Stone Cold. You guys do. Come on. Everyone wants to see Stone Cold Steve Austin again. Maybe, if not the guy, the attitude and the idea. They want the idea of, I don't need you. I don't need you, and I don't need you. I don't need anyone. But I'm going to come out and make the fans happy. I'm going to do it every time, and no one can stand in my way. That's kind of what Becky Lynch is doing right now. Just saying. Roman is my man, and keep his belt. Yeah, he's keeping the belt, for sure. Someone said, Roman is terrible. This is that thing where it's like, the grass is green. No, it's not. It's dark green. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, he's both, man. He's the yin and the yang. That's it. That's just how it is. But again, I say, I don't know what else they could have done with Strowman at this point. If he's going to be main event level on Monday Night Raw, I'm talking main event level, and you've already got a top babyface, and the top babyface, by the way, happens to be the face of the company, that's a tough combo, man. The only thing you're going to be able to do is elevate a top heel to match him. Who's the top heel on Monday Night Raw? I'm all ears. I'm all ears. It's not Ziggler. Much love for Dolph. It's not Ziggler. It's not Owens. It could have been. But Owens proved, he didn't prove, they proved for him time and time and time again, they'd rather make Owens the butt of the joke than put him over as a top threat. And I don't say that, by the way, as they're not booking Braun Strowman or booking Kevin Owens correctly. I'm not going to get wrapped up in that. It's whatever. I think they do what works with Kevin. Only Kevin can do what Kevin can do. If you put any other heel in the Kevin Owens spot, it probably wouldn't work. Kevin's successful because he plays to his strengths, and they play to his strengths. Would you buy Kevin Owens as the top guy in WWE? Would you buy him as the top heel? I'm not saying he has to be 6'4" and 300 pounds, rock solid, chiseled muscle. But would you buy him as the top heel? Did you see where I'm going with that? He is a top guy. He is a main event player. He's one of the best, I think, one of the best hands that company has. Pound for pound, he is. At the same time, he's not the top guy, and he's not the top heel. He's a top heel, for sure, no doubt. But he's not going to be the top heel to challenge Roman. Let's be honest. When did he beat Roman? When he had Jericho helping him. That's not an indictment on Owens at all, because we know it's all a work. We know it's all storyline. It doesn't matter who helps who, because it's a storyline. Do you get it? But what I'm saying is that's the way it's been crafted. The whole thing for Owens has been crafted that he's a cowardly heel. Well, that's not the top heel. It can be, and certain, I'm not saying, see, there's nothing, you can't speak in absolutes. Not in this business, because once you do, you're wrong. Okay. So, you can't speak in absolutes, but what you can do is you got to find the right role for everyone. But to me, in my opinion, Owens is not the top heel. Now, Braun Strowman, something different. Braun Strowman is not a cowardly heel. He's not. And if your top guy, your top babyface is Roman Reigns with the Shield helping him, then your top heel can be Braun Strowman. Braun can be fearless. But Braun can do it in such a way where he turns on the crowd. I never needed you people to begin with. right? He doesn't have to be friendly anymore. He doesn't have to be the friendly giant like he was becoming. Braun's getting, and I submit he never lost it. I was going to say Braun's getting the killer instinct. He's rediscovering the massive killer instinct I think that he had before. So he always had it, but now it's going to be refocused, I think, and razor sharp at this point. I don't know where this is leading. Do I think Braun's going to take the belt from Roman? No. It's different with Becky and Charlotte. Becky's long overdue. Braun's overdue as well. But do you really think it's going to lead with Braun pinning Roman for the title after it took Roman like 3 years to finally overcome Brock Lesnar? I don't know. Crazy. Someone said I like Rusev. I think he ought to be pushed more. Okay, so I know we want to get to open-ended questions. We want to get to, we're going to open the floor to whatever you guys want to talk about. But I've got one more thing, because I told you what the topic of this show was. Was everyone paying attention? There's a test later. The third thing that we're going to talk about today, it's not WWE. It is All In. And by the way, I was watching the Go Home edition of All In, Being the Elite on YouTube. It's just funny. It's just funny. The spot with Christopher Daniels and Stephen Amell. It's funny. And it's just the thing with with Rey Mysterio and Theo Rossi from Luke Cage. You guys know what I'm talking about? He's also from Sons of Anarchy. It's going to be at All In. That's cool. I like that guy. I like that actor. If you haven't watched Luke Cage, if you're a comic book guy like I am, you got to watch Luke Cage. It's so good. Theo Rossi's he's exceptional in it. Trust me. Let's talk real quick about the All In card, shall we? Hopefully you guys are into All In. Someone earlier said, it was Andrew, said, what's All In? Well, here you go, Andy. Can I call you Andy? No? Okay. Here's the card so far for All In. Now, anything can change. Card subject to change, folks. You've got Kenny Omega, the current IWGP champion, against Pentagon Jr. That's going to be a fight, my man. That's going to be a fight. Believe that. You've got the Over Budget Battle Royal, which right now it says it's 15-person Battle Royal. They've counted it. I'd be shocked if it was 15 guys. They're saying over budget for a reason. Let's just be. Said Stephen Amell, wrestling is a joke. I disagree, Dave. Go back and watch the tag match with Cody. I disagree. I think he'll be more than ready. He was ready then. He'll be ready now. And plus, he and Cody are friends. If anyone believes that Stephen Amell is not going to be fully... You think Stephen Amell wants to get in the ring and embarrass himself? Embarrass his friend and his friends? Nah, no chance. I disagree with that. And if you're coming at it from a pro wrestling perspective where you say this actor shouldn't... No one should be selling for this actor. Yeah, you're right. I can't argue with that. But this is 2018. The business has changed, and I may not like it any more than you do. For all you veteran viewers and old school fans out there, I don't like it either. It is what it is. You can't, what are you going to do? As long as it's believable and it's in the right context, I'm okay with it. They're of relative body size to each other. And I mean, Christopher Daniels has an entire career's worth of experience and Stephen Amell doesn't. I get all the argument for that. I understand. Just take it for what it's worth and try to enjoy the show. That's what I'm going to do on Saturday night. I'm just saying. So the Over Budget Battle Royal right now, as it stands, 15-person. Madison Rayne versus Britt Baker versus Chelsea Green versus Tessa Blanchard, 4-way match. You also have the Briscoe brothers continuing their Ring of Honor storyline against SoCal Uncensored, Frank Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. We have the aforementioned Christopher Daniels versus Stephen Amell. You have a 6-man tag team match. This is going to be fun. Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito, with Theo Rossi in their corner, by the way, now officially announced, versus the Golden Elite, the Young Bucks, Matt Nick Jackson, and Kota Ibushi. That'll be fun. Joey Janela with Penelope Ford versus Hangman Page. Looking forward to that one. Kazuchika Okada, best in the world in my opinion, versus Marty Scurll. And of course the main event, and should be the main event, Nick Aldis defending the NWA World Heavyweight Championship against Cody Rhodes. That's a stacked card. That's 10 matches, man. Wow. It's going to be a fun show. You got to watch All In. Everyone watch All In. It's going to be fun. So we couldn't go live 2 days before All In and not talk about All In. So that's what we're doing. So thoughts on All In. What are you guys thinking about it? I hope you can already say the show is a success because they sold the arena out in less than 30 minutes, over 10,000 seats. It's going to be a success. No doubt about it. It's a success already. Is the card going to be good? Did you hear the card? I don't know how it's not going to be good. Half those guys could have an off night and still tear the house down. Okada's great. I love him, but I think Kenny is better. Okay, I can roll with that. It's subjective. It's your opinion. It's fine. My opinion may not be the same. It's cool. We can agree to disagree. And I think on any given night you may be right, and I'm not. I don't know. But I think it's very subjective. But I love Okada, and I think Okada will eventually get back. And it's just like anything else. Okada had that phenomenal run. What was it, 600 or 700 plus days as champion? And he will get back there again. But when you take a guy that's already been on top and stuff, then you take that guy and you sort of take him back down again. And that's what's happening with Okada. He's just coming back down. And he'll get back up again, but it'll take time. And it'll happen for him. And when it does, it'll be all good. There'll be no worries. So don't lose too much sleep over Okada not being the world title picture or that WGP championship picture right now. So, yeah. But it's all in a matter of how you look at it, right? It's all in a matter of how you look at it. Again, it's all subjective opinion. It's all whatever. Well, whoever your favorite is, and whoever you want to win. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good night. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been hard for me over the years to say the word show because when you're in the business, you don't use the words that fans use, or at least you're taught not to. So the word show, it's been hard for me. For a long time in my writing, I didn't include the word show. That's just an offhanded comment there. Is it worth backtracking and watching the build up to All In? Why not, man? I mean, if you got time. If that was a female that asked the question, I apologize. No disrespect. I'm sorry I didn't say the name. Sure. You could take the next evening or two and just watch some clips. You don't have to watch all the matches. Just watch some clips. Follow the timeline. Can I give you a suggestion? Go on Wikipedia and just punch in All In and follow the timeline of events from start to finish, from the beginning to September 1st. And you can go back to YouTube after that and kind of research it on your own. But sure, you don't need backstory if that's what you're asking me. I don't think you do. This will be an event that any pro wrestling fan could watch. And hopefully they're on their toes with the video packages and stuff. I imagine they will be, but I don't know. Hopefully they will be. Hopefully there'll be a little something there for everybody to kind of bring people up to speed, if for no other reason to tell you who these guys are. But my issue is, if you're in the arena, you already know them. I think the majority of people that's going to buy the event online is already knows who they are. But if you know them, but you're not really sure what they're up to, it wouldn't hurt. Go do a little bit of background, man. It's fine. I'm sure they would show clips. Yeah, I think so too. I don't know who's doing all that for them. They are, as we said before, they're operating independent of Ring of Honor, New Japan, and all that. But at the same time, I firmly believe that they are, they're bound to have guys from both companies helping out the production side of it. I mean, I would think so, right? So that'll be fun. Oh yeah, no worries, man. You're welcome. Thanks for answering. Yeah, you don't need a backup. Not every match is going to have history. If you just want to go, you know what you could do? You could just go to YouTube and search the names. If there's names you don't recognize, and see what they're all about and see what they can do. That would be fun, right? Let's see. Okay, so we've got sort of a lull happening here. We've dropped some viewers here in the past little bit. Fridays are tough. I've come to find out. Fridays are tough. I typically do not work on Fridays, and so it works out great for me. My schedule, everything just sort of fits together like a puzzle for me on Fridays, so it's perfect. But I've come to the realization not everyone maybe is off on a Friday or is around at high noon. See, the issue with me recording later in the night is that, family. I got a wacky, almost 10-year-old that loves to just barge in here. You notice he's not in here now. The boy went back to school on Monday. It was kind of heartbreaking for me because we had a great summer. He and I had a great summer, did a lot of cool stuff together. So, do you think Wendy is going to leave AJ for Samoa Joe? So, I guess we're going to open the floor to questions. Crazy question. Having said that, in terms of WWE, it's not a crazy question at all. WWE has done much, much worse than that. I say kudos to AJ's wife because she plays the part very well. You know what I'm saying? She never breaks character at ringside. Well done. Backstage, keeps a straight face. It's awesome. And this is just Tom talking. I don't know. But I would dare say that Joe's friends with AJ's family through the years. If he wasn't, I'm sure he is now. And this goes back to the piece I wrote for Wrestling Rumors today, suggesting or asking the question, because most of my pieces ask questions and let the reader decide. I'll give you the back and forth and both sides of it and let you sort of come to your own determination. But the piece I posted today asked the question, is the storyline going too far? I submit that it's not. I don't think there's anything out of bounds for pro wrestling. I think there's tasteless and tasteful ways of doing things, right? And if you've watched WWE for longer than 10 minutes at a time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a way to go about doing things in a way you should kind of stay away from. But here's the key. In other words, if AJ's family's okay with this, you should be okay with it too. It's not your family, not my family, okay? It's AJ's family. If they're okay with it, they know it's coming, and they signed off on it, why are we going to get upset over it? Isn't that odd? It's an odd thing. I guess it's much in the same vein as why do we care who likes who and why do we care who tags with who? The talent are the ones that have to like it. I don't think we have to like it. That's kind of a cheap way out to answer that. But yeah, Do I think that they'll? No, I don't think they'll do anything that extreme. At least I hope they won't. Plus, AJ's little girl that was in the crowd is she's too little for. I mean, in my opinion, of course. Having said all that, I just did say that this is up to the family. If they're good with it, let them roll with it. I don't know. It sounds like a horrible idea, but I don't know. Do you think Joe's visit to AJ's house could be a repeat of Triple H breaking into? Maybe. I hope they don't go there. I wouldn't be surprised if they went there. I hope they don't. I would hope that we're past that point. But I don't know if we are or not. Someone just asked, who do you think Undertaker's... I'm sorry, I can't see the whole question. My apologies. Something about Undertaker's last opponent. I don't know if Undertaker's going to have a last opponent, man. We all thought it was Roman. Well, it's not Roman. So, I mean, wouldn't it make more sense for Triple H, for Undertaker to go out against Hunter, for Undertaker to go out against a veteran, to go out the way he rose to prominence against the top names of the business? That's how he should go out against one of his buddies. You know what I mean? It's like two outlaws, one last hurrah, one last ride. And I know they keep using that comparison all the time, the outlaw and Western stuff, but it really does make a lot of sense. That's a great question. I think Taker's going to go as long as he wants to, and I don't think Taker's last match will be announced. I think for purposes of cashing in and getting a payday for the company would probably encourage it. But it's up to Taker. He can call his own shots. Love it or hate it, he can call his own shots. And if Taker doesn't want to do something, he doesn't have to do it. He won't do it. If he wants to do something, then roll with it. Make it happen. I don't know that it has to be an official thing. That's just me talking. Taker does need to retire. A lot of people agree with that. Hasn't been good for years. He's looked good at moments. But I can't argue that he's lost a step. But as we all get older, we have. But his match against John, people talk about, Tom, that was a squash match. Yeah, but Undertaker did the squashing. Do you see where I'm coming from? Who was running in that match? Who was hustling in that match? It wasn't John. John didn't need to. John just had to bump. Just bump and feed, John. And he did. Taker was the one working in that match. I'm sure he worked up a good sweat. He looked good. He caught too much grief for that. Don't get too hung up on WrestleMania 34. He got too much grief for that. Bobby Lashley, question mark. That's the question mark. Bobby gives a much better interview than he does cutting a promo. At least for WWE. I recently listened to his interview on Sam Roberts' podcast. And much better interview than he does on the mic in a promo, for sure. I love to see Bobby get a spot and keep it and actually roll with it. I'm a Bobby Lashley fan. So I'm good with that. Sorry if that doesn't answer. Unless he was so out of shape and had to work a Goldberg-style match. You talking about Undertaker? Undertaker worked an Undertaker-style match. I don't know what you're talking about. He worked an Undertaker-style match. He's Undertaker. That's what he worked. I get what you're saying. If you're talking about pace, I get that. Of course he worked a slower pace. He did. We have to be realistic about this thing. This guy's older. I don't think anyone's suggesting that he went in there and he looked... Physically, he can look 20 years younger, but the body's still beat up. He's had surgeries. He's had injuries. He's battled a lot of things over the years. Of course he's broken down to what he was before. And by the way, I'm sorry, but a Goldberg-style match put butts in the seats, sold tickets, sold pay-per-view buys, sold merchandise. No disrespect, but I think that we as wrestling fans have been so spoiled and are so spoiled by great hands. Especially in the independent scene now, these guys that can work lights out and go. Dude, they're going to be old one day too. And they're going to slow down. All the flippity-flop stuff that they're doing now is going to catch up to them too. All the years of Undertaker diving off over the top rope has caught up to him. Things catch up to you. You do slow down. But you have to learn to take one style of match with another style of match. If you're going to watch WWE in particular, you have to learn really quick to take one style of match with another style of match because they cater to a lot of different tastes, a lot of different styles. That's my way of looking at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get too wrapped up in being upset over how a guy looks or whatever. I can comment on it, write about it, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, man. It is what it is. He nearly fell over trying to pick. Okay, fine, he did. Listen, people and the LOL stuff, man. People get. Here's my word of caution. If that's your opinion, go with God. I'm not going to try to change it. You have your opinion. You're set in it. No amount of talking to you or anyone else in terms of, here's what I think, Tom, and I don't care what you think. If that's the case, then I am wasting my time convincing you otherwise. The only thing I can do is give you my take respectfully. And my take is that the same guy we're LOLing about is the same guy that was entertaining us for years, putting his body on the line, missing his family, never being home, risking his life, like your favorites do now who are 20. Okay? And I'm just saying, take this stuff with a grain of salt. Do you think that Taker, oh God, Vince, I need money. Oh my God, I've got to have it. First of all, I don't know the status of Taker's checking account. Don't know, okay? But I dare say he's coming back because he loves it. And WWE books him in such a way to do right by the show that he's booked on. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to get into the issue of should he or shouldn't he. That's not, once he's booked, I have to deal with what I have. I can give you, here's what I think should happen if he's booked, but whether or not Taker has no business work, whatever, man, whatever. Can I be honest with you? I used to get real wrapped up on that stuff. If that's what you want to get wrapped up on, I guess you can, but it seems like a lot of time spent worrying about something you can't change. I like to deal with what's in front of me. Like a lot of people used to spend a long time hating John because he was a top guy. John shouldn't be a top guy. But he was. Roman Reigns shouldn't be a top guy. But he is. Just deal with what's in front of you and either make the best of it or hate it. I guess it's up to you. I'm choosing to make the best of it. I can't spend my time hating guys or hating matches or whatever. Well, do you think... What does that say? Well, do you think should have ended Undertaker? I assume you mean, who do I think should have ended Undertaker? I don't think Undertaker's streak should have ended. I think Undertaker's streak... And again, you have to deal with what actually happened. I'm not going to go back and rebook it. It's not up to me to do. But in my opinion, Undertaker's last match should have been the night he dropped the undefeated streak at WrestleMania. That would have been his last match. Or better yet, he retire undefeated from WrestleMania and his last match be on Monday Night Raw. Highest rated Monday Night Raw in the history of the program next to the stuff in the Attitude Era. That's just me talking. You know what I mean? The whole idea of go out on your shield. Go out with the way you came up, with the way you came in. You know, Undertaker is Mr. Pay-Per-View as much as Shawn Michaels was, as much as John Cena became. But at the same time, you know, just imagine him. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, well, Tom, why would they give it away on free TV? I don't know. Sometimes my head will go to other places and say, why hype it for a pay-per-view? He's done everything he could possibly do at pay-per-view. Hype it for Monday Night Raw. I say, this is it. Tonight's Undertaker's last match. I mean, they're not going to do that. That's just me throwing possibilities out there to you. Who do I think should have done it? I don't know. But if you're going to put Taker against Roman and say this is the torch passing, Roman goes over and Taker doesn't wrestle again. But it's almost like WWE did it and then Taker come back and said, nah, I don't know if I want that or not. And I don't know if that's what happened. And you know what? There's bigger picture stuff behind the scenes than you and I were able to know about. And even if we hear it one day, it may or may not be the 100% truth. So who knows? I don't know. Yeah, shouldn't have ended. I agree with that 100%. Streak shouldn't have ended. I think he could have retired with the streak intact. Just like I think that John Cena should not break Ric Flair's record of 16 championships. I think John can come back and work for the title sometimes or whatever if they need him to, or if he wants to, but I don't think being the 17-time world champion is a good idea. That's just me talking. Let's see. Who else we got? Hey, who do you think is going to go again against Kane? Is that against Kane? Maybe. I think Kane's last match should be Undertaker. Undertaker's last match. I get some heat for that, but why not Undertaker's last match be Kane? Brothers Destruction going out and bowing to each other at the end. And look, man, this goes back to the whole Taker shouldn't wrestle, whatever. Kane put his time in. And I'm going to tell you something right now. The ones that people get all excited about and love so much, when's the last time you heard anything negative about Kane? When's the last time Kane got in trouble? When's the last time Kane rocked the boat, demanded more money, threatened to leave, threatened to quit, refused to work someone, didn't want to do this, didn't want to do that? Kane has been a good soldier from the moment he got there to the moment he was elected mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. And that's the truth of it. Kane was told you're going to be an evil dentist, and he didn't quit. He didn't come back and say, you have got to be kidding right now? When you have a guy like that could do anything in the ring, he could work cruiserweights, he could work super heavyweights, didn't hurt anyone, rarely got hurt himself. You reward guys like that. That's why Kane's still around. He was never a problem in the locker room. He was a model employee and still is. Kane versus Taker. Why not? Brock Lesnar. So I guess someone's debating whether or not Brock Lesnar was handed the torch. Yeah, well, that's why I said if Taker's streak was going to end, then in my opinion, maybe prolong it and say if you're going to pass a torch to Roman Reigns, that should have been the last thing. I think the whole Brock Lesnar thing was done as shock value. Because no matter how much people may like Brock, the moment Paul Heyman ever brought up the fact that Brock broke the streak, he got hated for it, and so did Brock. And he should, because, the streak shouldn't have ended. And if you believe anything you hear, and again, how many of us were backstage when the conversation was had, keep that in mind. Brock didn't want to do it. How's about that? Brock didn't want to pin him. He didn't want anything to do with it, and they had to talk him into it. So again, I tell you, if all the parties involved are of the same mindset, don't lose a lot of sleep over it. I didn't like it either. I still don't. It is what it is. Dealing here and now. Nothing can screw up Taker's legacy. I don't believe. Nothing can. Is he going past the point of no return? I don't know. I think history will say yes or no to that one. I don't have any idea. Streak didn't need to end. That's just silly. I didn't say, okay, I don't know who you're talking to. I didn't say the streak needed to end. I said if the streak had to end, then end it against, the guy that you say is your next guy. That's just me. But at the time when it happened, I remember writing the piece about it. And it occurred to me then, of all the guys in WWE that could take that undefeated streak and shoulder maybe the burden of having beat Taker's streak, who else but Brock Lesnar? Because Brock doesn't care what you think. He's not on social media. He doesn't care what I write. He doesn't care what you tell me. He doesn't care about any of it. Okay, and that's the truth. That's a shoot. And does he care? No, he doesn't care. He has respect for Taker for laying down for him, I'm sure, but he doesn't care what you think about it. But put that on the shoulders of a younger guy who's greatly affected by the previous generation and what it means to continue the trend, what it means to continue in the business and to carry on forward. And ask him if he can handle carrying around Taker's undefeated streak and knowing he was the guy that put it to an end. That's a big deal. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. Who else could have ended Ric Flair's career but Shawn Michaels? That's a big deal too. You see what I'm saying? You got to give it to someone that can shoulder the responsibility. And if it had to end for whatever reason, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say it shouldn't have ended because it's over. It's years over. We got to move on, folks. But if someone had to end, if they were determined to end it when they did, Brock was the only guy. Let's be honest. I'm not crazy about that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. We got people scrapping. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, listen, guys. It's okay to disagree. I'm totally cool with it. Everyone, have your conversations, man. Because, here's what I run into. This is why I don't talk politics much with people. Number one, it's impossible. Number two, you like who you like, and there's probably going to be any change in your mind. Pro wrestling is the exact same way. Exact same way. And more often than not, pro wrestling debates become, well, you're stupid, and you need to agree with me. That's not a debate. That's a closed-minded individual who wants to try to convince you to believe the way he does. That's not a debate. That's not the definition of debate. Debate are two people who are being open-minded, who are willing to consider the possibility of the other guy perhaps having a point or perhaps being right. That's the definition of a debate in my book. So, yeah, no worries. No problem with speaking out. No problem with debating something. Just leave open the possibility that you're wrong about something. That's hard. Hard for me too. I can't lie. Ego gets in the way, man. We're only human. What else we want to talk about? We're opening the floor here, man. Anything else you guys want to discuss? Can we move on from Taker and Roman and Brock and all that fun stuff and Universal Champions that are never around and Universal Champions that should have had the belt a long time ago and maybe didn't deserve it or whatever? Okay. Do you think Cody would cement his legacy? Great question. I think Cody's legacy's already been cemented. I think Cody's legacy as an entrepreneur, as a guy who thought, I hate this phrase, as a guy who thought outside the box and didn't want to settle for a paycheck, wanted to do something better with his career and his life, I think that's been cemented. I think his legacy is well established. Nick Aldis is a good champion. He's a good worker too. I'd like to see Cody win it. His legacy in terms of his father, of course, and I got a soft spot in my heart for Dusty. I always will. So, do I think that he needs it? He doesn't need it. Would I like to see him win it? Yes. Would it help establish his legacy? Absolutely. Because he needs to be a world champion. Because ask yourself this. You know that the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes, their contracts are coming up before the end of 2018. There's all kinds of rumors and speculation. I've wrote about a lot of it, man. That says that maybe they could be jumping ship and going to WWE. Let me ask you a question. Let's say they do. Does Cody Rhodes become WWE champion? Does he end up on SmackDown working AJ Styles? Two former Bullet Club leaders. That's a storyline that writes itself, right? But if his best shot right now is at a world championship, I say the NWA World Championship. He could take that belt to New Japan. He could take it to Ring of Honor. Take it all over the world, man. So I'm down with that, sure. I have no problem with that at all. You hear my chair? This is insane. I need a new chair. It's my 100th episode. Someone should buy me a chair. I'm going to start a GoFundMe page for a new chair. Will you guys donate? I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. Relax. I'm not going to ask for money. The podcast is free, isn't it? Let's see. What's the future of Hardy and Orton? Whole bunches of matches. That's what I think. Hell in a Cell. Inside Hell in a Cell. That's what I think. And I don't know how they can't. I don't know why they wouldn't. And I'm sure that's going to happen. And I know the match has been announced. And Hell in a Cell. Yeah, absolutely. This is a tough one. This is two veterans, okay? And I think this feud is more about Jeff than it is Randy, in my estimation. Because Randy could lose this feud and go right on to the next guy and not miss a step. But I don't think Jeff should lose this feud. Do you know what I mean? And I think Jeff comes out of this feud better than when he went in. That's what I think. And I think they both have the ability together to make some really good TV. I'm looking forward to it. I think we have just barely scraped the surface of what these two guys are capable of together. And Randy gets a lot of heat, and he should for a lot of things, honestly. But I'm looking forward to this. I'm enjoying it so far. Nick also to WWE soon. You're talking about Nick Aldis to WWE soon? Maybe. I've not heard anything about his NWA contract being up. I don't know if WWE would know what to do with Nick Aldis. I think Nick Aldis is a little too straight-laced. Nothing wrong with that, but I think he's a little too straight-laced and he's a little too, I'm going to say vanilla, and I don't mean it negatively, okay? I think he would like his wife's there, right? But I don't know if it would be a good fit for him. And if you hear him in interviews, he gives a great interview as well recently, especially when he's talking about, you know, the WWE used to be the destination. It was the destination all the time for everybody. And now that's just not the case. That you can make a good living outside of WWE, and I firmly agree with that. So, I don't know. If it's a matter of what they do right by him, where they drop the ball, I think Nick's right where he needs to be. That's my opinion. Future of Becky Lynch. Well, we talked about Becky a whole bunch. I think Becky becomes SmackDown Live Women's Champion eventually. Don't know if it's going to happen in Hell in a Cell, but I think she'll eventually get the belt. I think she'll have to. The way they're booking the feud. Women tag belts in the future. I wrote about this as well. Women's tag belts for the women's division. Sure, they've got enough talent. Why not? And it's a set of belts that doesn't need to be defended every week. I think it needs to be defended on TV more than the women's titles are. Think about that, right? Just imagine if the WWE Championship were reserved only for pay-per-view, and so the United States title was too. That wouldn't probably work, right? What if the tag team belts were only reserved for pay-per-view? So if you only have 2 championships in the entire women's division, say you have tag team belts on both shows, for example. So when would you defend the tag belts? If you're going to defend tag belts, you need tag team matches on TV. So now you start pairing girls up, and next thing you know, you're running out of talent. Because it doesn't take long to run out of talent when you're talking about tag team belts. That's why WWE takes guys and puts them together, right? I'm not against the idea. I'm all for it. I think a women's secondary championship, and I think I mentioned this last week maybe, I think a women's television championship is in order. In my opinion. You're sort of sticking it to the girl and telling her you got to defend it on TV. But you know what? Do it. Put it on TV every week. Women's television champion. I'm just saying. Someone that looks... And don't take this the wrong way. When I say she looks good on TV, I mean in the ring, on a promo. That's what I'm talking about. But someone looks good on TV, can represent the belt, that every week you're like, hey, wait, when's the women's TV title match? I can't wait to see it. That's what I'm thinking about. I'd love to, but you know what? The words TV title they're such a territory concept. And we all know Vince doesn't want to admit anything that happened before unless it happened in his company. Okay? So... I'd love to see it. Don't think it's going to happen. But tag belts, absolutely, I think. Mae Young Classic, who you got? What a great question, Leo. God, my eyes are bad. You can't appreciate how bad your eyes are to doing this. It's terrible. So, here's the interesting thing about the Mae Young Classic. I've read no spoilers. No spoilers at all. I don't want to know until I see it on the network. I just don't want to know. I just want to see it on the network. I can't even tell you who all's in the tournament right now. I think bracketology's been released, or it's recently, or it's going to be. Who do I have in it? I don't have a pick for you. That's a terrible answer. I'm sorry. Storm? Is her name Tony Storm? That seems, my apologies. That seems like the way to go. That's just me talking. But there's a lot of talent in that tournament, man. I know that for a fact. I've heard some names, but not all. But I just want to see what happens. I want to be as surprised as you are. I just want to have fun watching it. I don't want to look up spoilers. I don't want to know who's paired with who or who beat who or whatever. I don't want to know any of that stuff. I just want to watch it and have fun. I just want to enjoy it. How long will the Shield be together? Long as they're printing the green stuff. That's the truth, man. That's a money-making machine right there. Best thing about the Shield is the same thing about DX. You could split DX up whenever you wanted to and make it as bitter and bloody as you wanted to. Didn't matter. 6 months down the road, you could put them back together and it would work every time. And that's the Shield. The Shield will work every time. No one's ever going to get tired of seeing those three guys together. I don't care how much you hate Roman. You're gonna cheer Roman when he's with the Shield. Remember when they put Braun through the table that night on Raw and they reunited? Was it 2 weeks ago? They go to put Braun up on Roman's shoulders. He did the ooh-ah. Crowd did it with him. Sorry. You see what I'm saying? As long as they're printing money, man, keep them together. I don't have an end game for that. I could tell you the rest of the year. I could tell you WrestleMania. I don't know. I think the next time the Shield sort of hangs it up, it's a mutual agreement. It's like the kind of bump fist backstage and say, you know what? I think we went as far as we can go. I'll see you down the road. And just let it ride from there. And just don't have it be a betrayal or one betrayal is okay, but two might be hard to come back from. And there were rumors they were going to turn Dean heel before he got hurt. I don't know if that's true or not. Take a rumor for what it is, a rumor. I like the Shield. Do I think Roman will drop the belt before WrestleMania? Yeah. Because your top guy needs something to work for at Mania. Your top guy's either going to defend the title or he's going to work for the title. And I don't know if keeping the title till Mania is a good idea. I'm guessing, you know what I mean? But after this, who's Roman got left? Let's think about that. If Brock's out of the picture, and a lot of us hope he is, because honestly, it's time to move on. It's nothing personal. But if he has indeed moved on, it's over, and he'll be in UFC probably in January, maybe February with the fight against Cormier. He'd be hard-pressed to make WrestleMania. It's not impossible, but he could make it. I don't think I want to see Roman versus Brock again. Who's left for Roman to go against? Big name, big name. Kenny Omega. I'm just saying, man. Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, their contracts are coming up, as we said before. Kenny Omega versus Roman Reigns, Universal Championship. I'm just throwing it out there. Take it or leave it, man. Izzy, 6-man tag belts. Izzy, I can't see your avatar. I don't know if you're male or female, so I'm going to call you dude or pal as a as a throwaway term. I love the 6-man championships. Ring of Honor's doing it again. I think they've had the belts for a while now. I'm an old school pro wrestling guy, man. I'm back from the territory days. Don't ask my age. It's embarrassing. It's not really embarrassing. I improve with time, like a fine wine, really. I'm just saying. I don't really. That just sounded fun to say. Plus, it's a Beatles quote. What are you going to do? I love the 6-man championships. Dusty and the Road Warriors. The Freebirds, right? I love the idea of the 6-man championships. I love it because it's a set of titles you don't have to defend all the time. You just don't have to. It's not like tag belts. And the way they've historically been booked, it's not necessary. You could only defend 6-man tag belts. And you know what? You could do those belts on TV or on pay-per-view and it wouldn't matter. It really wouldn't matter. And so I'm all for it. I say do it. I think it made more sense when The Shield and New Day were on the same show. That probably made more sense, but I don't care. Sanity's there now. You've got plenty of, you've got potential for 3-man stables there. Now you got Braun, Drew, and Dolph. Do it. 6-man championships. Here's the problem. I still believe, like the television championship idea, the 6-man tag belts are a territory concept that Vince McMahon would shy away from. That's just me talking. So, would I love to see it? Yes. And Izzy, fantastic question. Yeah, we've already covered the women's tag team belts. You're right about that. I'm all for it. I'm glad to see it. I hope we see it. The likelihood of Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania. Woo! Well, I threw the ball in your court, didn't I? When I said that Roman had to have somebody big to work at Mania. I did throw the ball in your court, right? And you came back at me. Well played. Nice volley, sir. Okay, so we're going back to the idea of the part-time superstar. But I'll tell you this. If there's two guys that would bring the pain more in the ring than Roman versus Rocky, come on, man. That could go down as one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. I'm sorry, I believe that. Do they need it? Nah, I don't think they need it. Rock has been Rock has not been a constant presence at Mania like Taker's been. Where every year you're waiting to see who Taker's going to work. No one really... They'll throw... And you know what? As Mania gets closer in 2019, the talk of Rocky coming back will heat up, as always. People talk about Elias versus Rocky, which I have no idea who in the world would want to see Elias versus Rock. That's a 5-minute squash match, folks. I'm sorry, it is. But do I think they need it? No. And check out Seth Rollins' interview recently where he flat out said, I'd rather see Seth versus Roman. Because he would, and he makes a valid point. Would that be good for the payday? Maybe. Would I like to see it personally? Boil it all down. I'm good either way. It's not anything I have to see. I don't think it's necessary. That's just me talking. Great question, though. Bobby Lashley need to be a bigger name. Yeah, we talked about Bobby just a little bit. He needs something. He needs a better direction. It doesn't mean he needs to turn heel. Hey, gotta be creative. Don't take what I just said to task. Oh, and by the way, now Braun Strowman can face Bobby Lashley. Think about that. Braun Strowman's now heel. Thanks for mentioning Lashley again, Steve. Now they can legitimately feud. That'd be fun, right? So, what else you got? Usos versus Young Bucks. I'd buy that for $1. Hey, listen, man. On my phone, I've got, the Notes app on the iPhone. So I've got a running list of my dream matches between New Japan and WWE. You know what? Maybe if nothing huge happens in the next 7 days, well, it will. All In's happening Saturday. Maybe we can do, and let me ask you a question. Thumbs up or thumbs down, and be honest, how would you feel about a show where we do nothing but New Japan versus WWE? Give me some clicks. There's not a lot of you watching right now. We've lost some viewers in the past few minutes, but it's okay. I'm not going to be mad at you. How would you feel about that if the next show we covered New Japan versus WWE and came up with some great dream matches? There's one. I like that. I think we'll do that. I think we'll try that. Episode 101 will be New Japan versus WWE. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to put you to task. Yay! Doesn't take much to make me happy, man, okay? I'm going to put you to task. You have the next week to come up with the coolest matches you possibly can. Write this stuff down, man. Write it down. Use the old-fashioned pen to paper, baby, and write it down. And give me what you got. Give me your best. Don't give me throwaway matches. You can give me curtain jerks if you want to. I don't care. But and the matches don't have to have lasting repercussions for the industry. I don't really care. And if you will, please, try to keep it within the past, 10 years. So if you want to include Austin, you can. And of course, it would be Austin in his prime. You can specify. And I'll do the same. And I'll come up with my own little short list. And let's banter back and forth next week and see what we can come up with. But I'm excited about that. I think it would be good. Absolutely. Now I'm pumped up about it. Now I want to do it right now. I'm not going to do it right now. Don't do it right now. Let's save it. We don't have to do it right now. We can do this next week. You never hear that. I want to hear a funny heel come out and say that. You know what? We don't have to wait till tonight. We can do it next Sunday. That'd be awesome. It's not going to happen. I think if because I used to write, I wrote pro wrestling storylines for a while for a company. And I think if you made me the booker, I might have a little too much comedy. Not in terms of, that match didn't make any sense, or boy, you can't do that move and make it look good. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about I have a little too much comic relief. I want to have fun, man. I want some of this stuff to be fun. It doesn't need to be blood and guts all the time. I like the blood and guts, but not all the time. Okay, we're going to take this thing home. It's been over an hour. I had to eat something. I had a bowl of cereal at like 9 o'clock this morning, so I'm going to get a snack or something. But a healthy snack. We got to maintain this girlish figure, man. As we said before, 17 pounds down and counting, yo. Bam. Okay. So before we get out of here, we're going to open the floor to one more question. I'm only doing one. Just make it good. Make it epic. Make it something I can sink my teeth into and gnash on it for days on end. Make it good, man. You got one more chance. By the way, if you're listening to this podcast, you don't have any chance. This is recorded live and you don't have any input. Sorry. I have to tell people at home. Okay. Let's see. Nah. Okay, sure. run with it. Kevin Owens will be the next Paul Heyman guy. What was the ESPN show? Buy or sell? I buy it. Yeah. I like both of them. Upon further inspection, can I be honest with you? I can, right? We could be ourselves. Let's share. Okay. I'm used to seeing Paul Heyman next to a big guy. And Kevin's not really a big guy. It's not a deal breaker. Don't misunderstand. It would be a different dynamic. Punk wasn't a big guy. So I guess that kills my argument. There you go. Punk didn't need Paul either. For anything. Punk could have done everything he did without Paul and been just as entertaining. But he was more entertaining with Paul. So Paul does stuff with Kevin. You can better believe be the highlight of every show that they're on together. And just imagine Paul doing promos every week, not once every 3 months. I buy it. I like it. Thanks for the question. That's how we're going to take it home. Before we leave you, we have to do our usual bit of business. Once again, thanks to Wrestling Rumors, Heidi Ryan. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this week. Please be sure to follow me on Twitter if you want at Tom Clark Writes, WRITES. Send me a friend request on Facebook right here where you are. Send it now. Click it. I got I want to say 10 requests in the past week, and I accepted every one of them because I'm a man of my word. All right. So if you send me a request, I'll accept it. Chat. I talk to guys sometimes, and they hit me on Messenger and say, "Hey, man, what do you think about so-and-so?" I love talking about this stuff, man. I'll talk to anybody about it. So please send me a friend request, and I will accept 100%. So any questions, comments, words of wisdom, drop me a line, message on Facebook, whatever you want to do is fine. We can talk. When I got time, if I don't answer you right away, don't take it personally. Okay. But yeah, give me a follow on Twitter. Check out boinkstudios.com. Please subscribe to the podcast, if you will. Check us out on iTunes. We also post this thing to YouTube, usually within 24 hours of it going live on Friday. So please be on the lookout for that. I got a YouTube channel. Just look up Tom Clark. Can't miss me. There's only 400 Tom Clarks on YouTube, but I'm the one that looks like this. So I'm the only guy that looks like this that I know of. Okay. So please give us a follow. We're also on iHeartRadio. You can subscribe and listen to us there as well. This has been fun, man. It's fun every week. And listen, most of you guys, I'm going to venture a guess and say we're not long for the ride over the past 4 years. But real quick, before we take this home, I got to say, man, this has been 100 episodes is just awesome. I wish I've done more, but I'm going to do a lot more than this. So, what's my hand? It's just Tom Clark, man. I tell you what, if that's not working for you, you can send an email to the Wrestling Rumors account, and I'll look you up and send you a request. Does that work for you? I had to do that last week. There's a lot of Tom Clarks, man. I may need to change my handle to Tom Clark Writer or something. Maybe would that make more sense? I think it would. I'll do that. How's about that? That'd be a lot easier for everybody. I think I'll just do that. So, it's been a great 4 years. I'm looking forward to 4 more. I'm looking forward to 100 more episodes. I got a back catalog of episodes, man. I got 99 more episodes. I got 99 episodes. It's great. And, yeah, so go check them out. I've got interviews with Randy Orton, Big Show, several other guys through the years. I've talked about as much stuff and I continue to talk about it. I try to be down the middle on these things and try to give the reader the opportunity or the listener opportunity to form his or her own opinion. I hope we're doing that for you here as well on Facebook Live. So that's what we're going to continue to do from this point on. Remember to look at me on the Sports Daily. I'm there pretty much every day. I have a new website, not new but new to me. New opportunity coming up actually next week. I'm not going to announce it right now, but I am jacked to the gills over this thing. It's another opportunity for me to get my voice out there and be heard. Another opportunity for you folks to read my stuff. And listen, I very much thank you from the bottom, all right, for listening, for watching, for tuning in. It means a lot to me, man. I really do appreciate it. Any positive comments you can send via Messenger to Wrestling Rumors. here I am asking you to do homework and stuff. Just tell us you love the show. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking. If you love the show that much, tell somebody. Okay? So that's all I got for you, man. We're going to be back next Friday, high noon Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me, man. I really appreciate it. 100 episodes in the can. Looking forward to the next 100. That's all we got for you now. And we will see you next time. Enjoy All In. Watch it. Have fun with it. Don't worry about who wins or loses. Just have fun. That's what this whole thing is supposed to be about, is having fun. Okay? Have fun with it. That's all. And we will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.